Evening and welcome back to the Mindful Model Makers Workshop. What I'm doing, I'm getting on with the LCUT building that I'm making. I went to my Model Railway Club last night and tried out what I built so far and modified it because I actually put it onto the layout. I haven't got any pictures of that at the moment, but what I'll do when I go this week or next week, I will photograph what I've got in position because it'll be a bit bigger and better by then, so there'll be a bit more to see. So what I'm doing, this is the stone paper that we've decided to cover the model in, because the actual model is has got brick sections on cut out, but we're doing it in stone. You see me doing the part on the last video that I made about this. So all I'm doing at the moment is just getting rid of the edges all around this paperwork. And as you can see, I'll use my safety ruler, which I'm sure has made sure that I keep most of my fingers. So I would never say anything is 100% safe, but it's a lot safer than using a flat steel rule like this, where the knife could quite easily slide up over the top. So at least it's got to come up the wall before it can get you. This is like a lot of things, knives, machinery, they're always trying to get you. So you've got to make sure that they don't succeed. So it's like when I used to use a lathe and various things like that. Always make sure that everything's secure and everything's clear before you turn the machine on and so on. So that's the way when I was engineering that I was brought up. So, and I was always told that the machinery is always trying to get you. So that's what you learn when you're working with that type of thing. So we should be able to get both those pieces on there like so. So what I'm going to do now is get my trusty pot of, it's just a cheap Hobbycraft PVA. I water it down a bit and then I cover the area like so. You can give it a bit of a soak. It will kind of warp a little bit, especially if it's made up of sections, which this bit is. I've used some bits and pieces to create the piece that I want, because the good thing about this LCUT is the fact that you can kind of make what you want it, all various types of things. I mean, basically it's a warehouse, but the warehouse can be made up, as you'll see as I go along. You can put different windows and doorways in different places. Don't have to follow a real set pattern. Right, so that's on there for that one. Then we'll do this one. So I'm going to probably do 2 or 3 little things tonight. I'll show you some various bits. I'm also going to make a new diorama. It's a present for somebody. I don't know if you remember, or it was on a little while ago, a program on the TV. I can't remember what channel, because I never know what channel's what, called The Detectorist. It's about a group of people that belong to a metal detecting club, and they go out and well, went over one day to his house and said, "Oh, have you ever seen this?" And the next thing, he was glued to this thing, and I think he's watched it twice. So the whole series twice, that is, not the one program. Yes, so there we are. Right, so that's that on there like so. Make sure there's nothing on there. Then I will just square that up, put it on as close to there as possible. I don't want to go too, it doesn't have to match up anyway. I can feel it pulling down already. So I'll get that like that. And then I've got my roller, which I use. Just turn them over and just give that a roll across in case there's any air bubbles or anything like that in it, and just do that like so. So that's my first job completed, so that's on there. So I'm going to just put that there out the way. You can't see that, but I'm not moving the camera around all the time. Right, now this is where we are with the loco. In the week I painted the driver, so the driver now looks like so. So it was quite smart. He's not all messy like the loco is. So the loco has got its jerry cans fixed in. There's a BP oil drum on the front there, and as you can see, it's very dirty indeed. The back still comes off like so. I probably will keep it like that. And what I've got to do on the inside now is I have purchased from my favourite buying place, which obviously is eBay. I've got 2 tea cans, so I don't know if you can see them. They're the actual tea cans that train crew use or used in the olden times. I've got my original tea can, and there is also a kettle that came with it. So you've got 2 tea cans, and you've got a bit of copper, quite soft, to make the handle to go through on the tea can. So they need painting white. The kettle I probably won't use for the time being, because don't really want that on the loco, but that will come in handy for something else. But I'll put a tea can on this loco, and then perhaps another on another loco. So the other bit I haven't done is this is the bit that goes inside like so for the battery box. Now obviously when I was dirtying all of that up, I didn't do this bit, so I'm not going to set up a spray gun. But what I did when I was putting on, I'll show you how I managed. Let's have a look what we've got there. That's instructions. I better not use that. So just want something to put this on. So I'll keep that because that's telling me the paper, because obviously I think I'm going to have to get more paper. But this I can use this to put this on. I tend to use anything that's scrap, just kind of make use of it when I'm doing a job, like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here a minute and get some of the pigments that I use for dirtying things up. So I've got this one here, which is I think these are mainly, this says fresh engine oil on there, so they're made by a company called MIG, and that's what's dirtied up all this. The only difference is what I did before was I sprayed it. So I've given that a good shake. Need a fairly soft brush, which is like so, and then if you kind of put that on like so and just kind of let it run down, you will dirty it up. So best thing to do is kind of put it on like so, let it drip down, and that will dirty that up sufficient. So I'm just going to prop it up like that, and you can see it all just pouring down, which is what would happen in real life with the grime. So likewise when I did the oil drums, I just put a load around the top and just let it run down the actual oil can, and because that dirtied it up. So we've got that done now. What I'll do is put the lid back on that. If it needs any more, I'll just give it another coat when it's dry. I'll use my old brush cleaner for this. I've just bought a new one today. I use this Revell Patina Clean, which is a brush cleaner. It's quite strong. What you'll have to, when you do your paintbrushes, I don't know if you can notice on there, but where the wood is, you'll see the paint's gone. This stuff eats paint. So when you're cleaning your brush, try out and just keep the metal bit, the bristles and the metal bit in, because it does take the paint off your brush as well. It's that strong. So I've had this for some time, but I was out today. Actually got it from Hobbycraft. It's not cheap. It's about £8 something, but I find it really does eat into the paint and clean it. So that's what I clean my brushes with. And as you can see, that's come up really good. So I've had a lot of these brushes for a long time, and it is worth cleaning them. So I'll put the lid back on. I make sure lids go on everything because it's quite easy to have an accident. So there you can see. And what I'm doing now, I'm tipping it up the other way. And I don't know if you can see now, it's all dripping back like so. So you can maneuver this around a bit like that. Put it on quite loose so it's wet, and then move it about so that it kind of, you want kind of layers of it, because it's just dirt, it's just grime, that's all it is. So the way to get things looking like this is, because somebody made a comment on the video, one of the ones I did when I dirtied this up, weathered it all up. They said that what a waste of doing it. But the thing is with it, you got to have it painted properly first before you weather it, because otherwise it's not going to look right, because in places the blue shows through, because the grime and dirt doesn't go on every inch of it. So you need to do it bit by bit, but you need to colour the thing perfect first. So like everything starts off brand new out the factory, and then it gets dirtier over the years. So you have to replicate that. Otherwise you just won't look right. If I just tried to paint the grime on and then tried to put a bit of blue on, it doesn't work. So the way I've done it, like this, I don't know what your opinion is of it. I think it looks all right, but then I've done it myself. So so the jerry cans are fixed on there now, and that's it. So this is nearly done now. There's not much more to do on this. So I'll show you that running soon. Hopefully it'll be fine in the next couple of weeks. I might be able to go down to where I run and put it on the track. I have got 45mm track here I can run it on, but I like to run it outdoors. And I've got the wagons to make up as well. I've got 4 slate wagons, which is going to go with this. So to make a little train of that. And when I go, because it's got the loco remote inside, if you remember, we'll have that running, and you'll be able to see it running, to show that it's a pretty cheap loco. When you think that was what, £38 to start with, that loco, 40 quid for the loco remote. The other bits were just knocking around the workshop for other projects, and I've just used them to I'm going to move this down a little bit because it doesn't seem to want to run down the bottom, and I don't want it to sit. I'm going to probably leave it a bit like that because it's inside the cab. Won't be quite so perhaps dirty as outside. I mean, it's not a steam loco, it's a diesel, so that's most of the grime and dirt's going to be on the outside. There's a lot of these little locos, when they were working, they wouldn't get cleaned that often. They're not like mainline locos and things. These were working in little yards, quarries, various different mines and things. So they would be underground a lot of the time, and they'd just be constantly working. So some of them perhaps shifts, perhaps working 24 hours, with you know, a crew on during the day, or a guy on during the day and another guy on at night. So it was constantly working. So that's how these little things earn their money. Anyway, so we've dirtied that up. I'm just going to pop that up to one side. Probably won't touch that now till tomorrow, because it's an oil-based paint. It will take time to dry. And there we are on that one. So that's what I've used on there. It's called fresh engine oil. So it was just to grime it up a bit, take away the kind of newness of the paint. So that's the inside of it. You can see the motor, you can see the wire coming through, which will plug in, and it won't be long, and I'll set up a bit of track if I'm going to do it here, or if I'm going to go off to my club to run, I'll take it, set it all up, and we'll run. So I'm going to put that back up there. Right, now the next thing that I'm going to do, so while I was in Hobbycraft, I bought one of these bits of slice of a tree trunk, basically. I don't know what it's proper, what you would call it, but anyway, it's made for something, I don't know what. It was £3. It just says natural look. I don't think it says what it is really. A door sign. So that's what you could do. So anyway, it's got this kind of string stuff on the side here. So I think what we'll do is we'll cut that off, because I don't think we want that on there. So I'll take that off of there. I think what it is, there is a staple or something holding that on, but I'll just take this bit off for now, like so, and we'll worry about the other bit later. Right, so there's the man who's got his metal detector. So if anyone's seen The Detectorist, there are lots of there are magpies in it, because magpies play a part in it, because magpies renowned for going after glittery things, and of course these guys were out looking mainly for gold. So what I've done, I managed to get these little O-gauge birds. I mean, some of them are pigeons and that. I couldn't get magpies. So what I will be doing is probably using a little bit of body putty to just change the shape of these a little bit. I got this whole pot, again on eBay. I think they're made in China. They came in just over, I ordered it one day, came the next. And so you've got these little birds. They will be modified, so you've got the long fin tail at the back, and they will be dotted around at the back out the way. Because there was always, if in the shots towards the end and all the rest of it, of magpies, and there was one actual program where the magpies came down and nicked. He found something, the magpie came down and took it while he went off to get his mate to show him, because when he come back there was nothing there. So anyway, I don't want to spoil the thing if you haven't watched it. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm not really going to put it on just flat. I should probably put some Mod Rock, which is, if no one's ever used Mod Rock, it's basically what they use in a hospital when you break something. It's a plaster impregnated with plaster of Paris. You cut it in strips, wet it, put it in. If you want something underneath, you can use rolled up newspaper, anything underneath, and you can form up a shape underneath the Mod Rock, and then you can paint the Mod Rock. I've got one of the static grass machines, so I can put grass on it. I can put I've got various different textured stones and various bits and pieces, so that I can make this diorama kind of a bit more three-dimensional as regards it's not going to be flat on top. I just went for this because it's about the right size, good shape. You've got the bark going around the outside, which looks quite nice. So I think all in all, that will make a good diorama. So that's what I'm working on. The man, I've painted him. I've used just acrylic paints. I went into the works, bought a box, I don't know, it was about a £5 of all loads of different colours, and I just literally daubed to get a camouflage, because most of these detectorists will use camouflage. So I just tried it out and it seems to be okay. And it's made by the same company as made the driver. So they are an actual reproduction of a real person. And I think they're just really good. You couldn't get better than these, and they're quite cheap. I think they're about £7 or £8, something like that. And I think the quality is good. They paint up well. These come kind of primed, yeah, I think that's comes up good, and that's what I'm going to use for my train crew. As you know, the other driver kind of got the sack because he was a bit too tall for the loco, but this one just about fits in underneath if he stands in the middle of the cab. He has to watch his head when he gets down, but there you are. That's how it is. So anyway, this is what I'm getting up to now, doing the diorama, fiddling around with the loco, and still doing more work on the LCUT building. So I'll probably carry on again tomorrow with a bit more of the LCUT building, because it will be dry. I'll cut it. I'll show you how I cut the windows again and how it's going to fit onto the other part, and roughly how the building is taking shape. So that will be probably tomorrow. I'll do that video and then put it up more or less at the same time. I've got the 2 tea cans to start painting white. Normally what I do is try and find a matte white first as the undercoat, and then a gloss white for the top coat, and then I've got to make the handle to go with it. But anyway, that's where we are on this so far. So yeah, moved on a little bit. The loco's virtually finished now. It all runs, and when it's done, then I'll film it, and of course I'll show you the making of the wagons as well, because that should be good. Because what I'll probably do with them is make all 4 at the same time. So do one bit and do the same on the other 3, and bring them all along at the same time. So when they're finished, we'll have 4 wagons to pull along, and we can shunt with them as well. So there we are. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you like the channel, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. There will be a little thing coming up at the end to just remind you, if that's what you want to do, of course. And I've got over 300 videos on this channel now, all forms of modelling, boats, loads of different things. I've got a boat catamaran that I'll be doing soon, which I want to sail. It's very old, probably 50s. Maybe late 40s, early 50s, thereabouts. An old catamaran. It's a bit damaged, still in the original box, and I just want to restore that to a degree and then sail it, so you'll be able to see that as well. So yeah, so subscribe, like if you want to, and I'll see you in the next video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye now.